Around the year 100 AD, the city of Rome held 1 million people. No city on earth would match that number again for 17 centuries. This is one ordinary day inside it through the eyes of one ordinary Roman. Meet Marcus. He's a free Roman citizen, which sounds grand, but Marcus is broke. He lives where most Romans lived, not in a marble villa, but on the top floor of a creaky wooden apartment block called an insula. Roman apartments worked backwards from ours. The rich lived on the ground floor. The higher you climbed, the cheaper, hotter, and more flammable it got. Marcus lives on the top floor, 6 flights up, 1 room, no kitchen, no toilet, no running water. Dawn, no alarm needed, Rome does it for him. Cartwheels on stone, roosters, a neighbor yelling about rent. Marcus gets up when the sun does because oil lamps are expensive and his window is just a hole with a wooden shutter. Breakfast is bread. Yesterday's bread dipped in cheap watered wine to soften it, maybe with a smear of honey on a good day. Romans ate light in the morning, the big meal came in the afternoon. First stop of every morning, the salutatio. Marcus, like thousands of poorer citizens, is a client of a rich patron. He walks to the big man's house, waits in line, says good morning, and receives a little basket of food or coins called the sportula. Rome ran on this. In exchange, the patron gets votes, errands, and a crowd. A rich Roman's importance was measured by how many clients swarmed his doorstep at dawn. It was networking, welfare, and theater rolled into one. Now, the commute. Roman streets mostly had no names and no numbers. Directions were pure landmark talk, past the fountain of the 4 fish, left at the bakery that burned down, 3rd alley after the shrine. Getting anywhere was a memory game. And the streets were packed. Porters with crates, slaves running errands, senators' litters shoving through, street vendors shouting, schoolboys reciting, beggars, barbers, fortune-tellers. The poet Juvenal complained you'd get bruised just walking to lunch. Marcus works when there's work. Like most free Romans, he takes day labor, hauling grain sacks at the river docks, mixing concrete, carrying bricks. The empire's marble skyline was built 1 aching back at a time. A day's wage for a laborer, roughly 1 denarius. That bought bread for the week, a jug of bad wine, and a bath. Not much, but here's the twist. In Rome, a lot of life's essentials were shockingly cheap or free. Start with bread itself. 200,000 Roman citizens received free monthly grain from the state, the famous dole. Emperors learned early, keep the city fed or the city burns. Marcus is on the list and he never misses pickup day. Lunch is street food. With no kitchens at home, Romans invented the fast food counter, the thermopolium. A marble bar with big clay pots sunk into it, serving hot stew, chickpeas, sausages, and wine right to the sidewalk. Pompeii alone had about 80 of them. And on everything, and I mean everything, Romans poured garum, a sauce of fish guts fermented in the sun for months. It was their ketchup, their soy sauce, their obsession. The best bottles cost more than perfume. Thirsty? Rome's 11 aqueducts delivered hundreds of millions of gallons a day, more water per person than many modern cities manage. It poured out free at hundreds of street fountains. Marcus drinks from the same fountain as everyone in his block. Mid-afternoon, work ends and all of Rome goes to the baths. Entry cost about 1/4 cent. Inside, hot pools, cold pools, steam rooms, gyms, libraries, gardens, snack bars. It was a country club for the price of a gumball. One catch, no soap. Romans oiled themselves like a salad, then scraped the oil and grime off with a curved bronze blade called a strigil. If you were rich, a slave did the scraping. Marcus scrapes himself. Fair warning, this next fact is famous for a reason. Public toilets were communal, long marble benches, no dividers, 20 seats, everyone chatting. And instead of toilet paper, a shared sponge on a stick, rinsed in a channel of water. Shared. Today's a lucky day, games at the Colosseum. Admission? Free. Emperors paid for spectacle the way they paid for bread as insurance against a bored, angry city. 50,000 seats assigned by class with women and the poor up top. Inside, wild beast hunts in the morning, executions at noon, gladiators in the afternoon. A sun awning the size of several football fields, worked by sailors, shaded the crowd. Vendors sold snacks in the stands. It was brutal and it was the best show on earth. Then home for the Cana, the day's real meal, eaten around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. For Marcus, chickpea stew, olives, cheese, coarse bread, watered wine. For the rich, dinner parties ran for hours, oysters, flamingo tongues, stuffed dormice. And yes, proper Romans ate lying down. Reclining on your left elbow was the civilized posture. Sitting upright at dinner was for children, slaves, and barbarians. Marcus, eating on a stool, is not fancy enough for anyone to care. At sunset, Rome flips. Julius Caesar had banned carts from the streets by day to fight congestion, so all deliveries happened at night. Which means the moment Romans tried to sleep, 1,000 iron-wheeled wagons hit the stone streets at once. There were no streetlights and no real police. Sensible Romans simply didn't go out after dark, and if they did, they walked with torches, servants, and a prayer. Juvenal called it madness to leave dinner without writing your will first. The real nighttime fear wasn't robbers, it was fire. 1 million people, open flames, wooden upper floors. Whole neighborhoods burned regularly, and badly built insulae sometimes simply fell down. Marcus sleeps in a fire trap and he knows it. So that's the deal Rome offered: free bread, free water, free entertainment, world-class baths, in exchange for noise, filth, danger, and a room the size of a closet. 1 million people took that deal. Marcus would not live anywhere else. But Marcus only watches the games. Next time we live a day as the man on the sand. The training, the diet, the fame, the odds of dying, and why some free Romans volunteered for it. A day in the life of a gladiator. Follow the story.